Hi guys, welcome back to a sprinkle of dark cocoa, and now I'll be talking about the industrial piercing. The industrial piercing. You know that piercing now, that one that is long like this, that is big. I really like that piercing like that. I like it so much. If there's any piercing I'm planning on getting in the future, it is this industrial piercing. I love it so much. I should even do it today. But let's talk about it first. What is an industrial piercing? An industrial piercing is, you know, that piercing now. It's at the top area of the helix and the anti-helix. I need to put a picture. I'll put a picture for you guys. So it's two piercings. It's come up. It is two piercings, just two ear piercings. That's the basic way I can explain what an industrial piercing is. It's two ear piercings that is at the top side, and they come and they are diagonal. They are at two opposite sides, so they come from one side to the other side, and it's like that. A very long thing, like my finger just stays right there at the top of your ear. So not everyone can get an industrial piercing because it depends. If you have a small ear, you can get an industrial piercing, and it depends on how your ear is shaped. Because if your ear is shaped in some sort of way that the ring can't hang in the correct angle or in the correct position, it's most likely that you won't be able to get an industrial piercing, and that's why you should let your piercer let you know if you can. And don't be too adamant, because there are some piercers that may just do it either way. But I won't. If you have like bad anatomy, I won't let you get an industrial piercing. I can just ask you to meet someone else, or you can just get two ear piercings. If you are that desperate for an industrial piercing, you can get two different sides of a piercing, then you put a ring that has a chain in between it just to link it. Like, you really, not everyone can get an industrial piercings. The best type of jewelry to use is the only one. It is either, that's why I said you can get two ear piercings and eventually use coconut head to slide in an industrial barbell inside. But the jewelry that is used for industrial piercing is an extra long straight barbell. The barbell should be like my finger length, like very long, because if it has a snug fit, it can have irritation, it can lead to infection. So it needs to be big enough to prevent swelling, and since it's a cartilage piercing which is very susceptible to infection, you need something that is not going to be a snug fit. It's not a simple skin piercing that you can risk having a snug fit, but it's a cartilage piercing, which means more swelling, more bruising. So if you use a short barbell, it will give you issues. So you have to make sure the barbell is extra long, like really long, that it sticks out on both sides of the piercing. So an extra long, or it's also called an industrial barbell, anyone. An extra long barbell is used for industrial piercing. So the healing time of an industrial piercing is actually less, and just like every other ear piercings, you should actually try to make sure your ear stays away from your hair. You should always make sure, like, this is my hair like this now. If I have a fresh industrial piercing now, I can't put my hair over my ear like this. You have to make sure you start taking like a bun, a 360 lace frontal, something, do shuku African style that keeps all your hair up. So aside that, the healing time of an industrial piercing is between 5 to 6 months. By 5 to 6 months, you should be perfectly fine, as long as you keep your hair away from your hair. Because if your hair keeps pulling on it, it will cause bruising, swelling, irritation. A lot of things can happen if you let your hair to keep pulling up on it, and if you're touching it and playing with it a lot. So between 5 and 6 months, your industrial piercing should be perfectly fine, and you can switch up your jewelry. You can use chains with double ends, or you can use the regular industrial barbell that has designs. You can order on AliExpress. You can get snake design, gems. You can get many different kinds of design. There are some that are curved, there are some that are bendy, but they have to be extra long to make sure. Because another thing about piercings can reject. Even after your piercing is healed, piercings can reject. So if you are applying too much movement, too much pressure on your piercings, they can reject, and it will be bad if your industrial piercing rejects, because it's a double piercing and that's double rejection, and that's just bad. So the pain level of an industrial piercing, I would say let's say a 7, because it is double. And piercings, the first one is always not as painful as the second, and it's 2 times double the pain. So like 7, let's just give it a 7. But individually, it doesn't hurt that bad. I can give it individually a 5, but since it's double, just merge everything and just tell you your whole entire pain altogether shouldn't be more than a 7. So yeah, industrial piercings are very pretty. I would put different shapes and designs of rings you should get, because it is definitely a piercing that is so fine, it's so beautiful, and you can style it in different ways, and you can get it in different angles. Aside the regular industrial piercing, there are vertical industrial that come from the top to the bottom of your ear. There are some industrials that go behind, and there are the regular kinds of industrial piercings. So I'll add some more pictures of different shapes of rings and designs of jewelry you can use in your industrial piercing. So that'll be all for today, guys. I think my next video will be on, what should I talk about? Should I talk about the belly button piercing? Stay tuned and I'll maybe talk about the belly button piercing today. So like and comment, guys. Like my videos and comment. I really want you guys to engage in my post. I want you to tell me the piercings you want, the piercings you want me to talk about. I'll talk about all my piercings, don't worry. But at the same time, like and comment and subscribe to A Sprinkle of Dark Cocoa, because I'll be here to serve you every day, every time. So stay tuned to my channel, subscribe.